You know, there used to be a time when I really got excited for the end of a Fortnite season. Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Season 4, getting the loot pool refresh and an update to the Fortnite Island. However, there's one piece of Fortnite's addictive formula that's been left untouched for some time now. It's the piece of the puzzle that unites the casuals, the sweats, and even the haters of the game together. It's arguably the most important part of Fortnite, and due to its absence, I believe it's caused other aspects of the game to fall by the wayside. This void can be so impactful that it's even caused the downfall of one of my favorite animes. The great news is the solution to this is so simple. Ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, we need live events back. This is one of those you don't miss it till it's gone type situations. I wish I could have enjoyed the last live event a little more. Unfortunately, since it was literally unplayable, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And it wasn't just me, it looks like a good majority of the community was disappointed by the last live event. Fortnite Fracture is ironically the thing that broke Fortnite. What I've realized since then is that live events are essential to setting up a new season. The one thing that Fortnite Fracture did right was give us a solid transition into Chapter 4. It gave us purpose for the new island being generated. And that's essentially because Fortnite's game relies heavily on storytelling. Although not everyone is a fan of the Fortnite storyline, the live events give essential context for casual players to make them feel like they have some understanding of what's going on. Without these events, casual players are left confused about the transition between seasons. Where's this new city coming from? Why is there a random jungle biome popping up on the map? Without live events leading us into the next season, map changes and metas can feel purposeless. The craziest part is this isn't even the first time I've seen this. Dragon Ball has had the same problem for the last few years. When I was a kid growing up, Dragon Ball Z was the most exciting show to watch because every episode felt like it carried weight. The outcomes of one saga fed right into the plot of the next. Goku defeats Frieza on Namek. Frieza comes back to Earth for revenge, but then is obliterated by some Super Saiyan from the future. Turns out that Frieza's DNA was used to create the perfect villain for the next arc, all because Goku couldn't finish the job on Namek. Now compare this to Dragon Ball Super. The plot lines are loosely connected at best. Aside from some characters mentioning previous events, there are no major plot threads from one arc that directly influence the events for the next. A lot of the time it feels like a bunch of random things happening to our heroes. And now stop me if I start to sound like a broken record here, but Fortnite has had the same issue for a long time. Although there are some plot points that are carried over, like Selen's plans on the Rift Gate being used by Dr. Sloan for the Stellar Projector, it's not enough to make it truly feel like one big epic story. At least, not like it did in Chapter 1. For example, when the Visitor's rocket left a rift in reality for the cube to come through to ultimately meld into Loot Lake and bring in zombies. You understand what I'm saying here? When plot points feed into each other, they bring life into the story. It feels like when certain things happen, there's consequences for those actions. There's a cause and effect relationship amongst the people and the objects and the environment that is being carried out in Fortnite. And I want you to keep something in mind. This isn't just done through the storytelling of live events, this is also done through map changes. I think that's the reason why we haven't seen as many as we used to. Map changes used to build up to live events. With them taken out, there's nothing to build up to. Now we get minor changes, which at first glance don't have a clear direction of where things might be headed. Think back to Chapter 3 Season 4 and how new sections would be chromed every couple of weeks, or even before that, with how the IO drills started appearing on the map. Changes like that aren't as significant or as often because we aren't building up to anything. But that's not even the worst part. The biggest tragedy about all of this is that without live events, there's nothing to unify the community. Think about it. What is the one thing that tryhards, ultra competitive players, casuals, and even haters of Fortnite could all agree on? That the live events were done well. Regardless of how invested you are to the Fortnite storyline, there's no denying that it was entertaining to see what was happening on the island. Live events were a window into the lives of the characters that contextually gave purpose for the following season's meta. It gave sweats and casuals something to bond over. It gave content creators tools that could be used on videos for months or even years. Now, there is nothing like that to unify us. What do you expect us to agree on at this point? The loot pool? Competitive players in amongst themselves can't even agree on that. If you've been feeling like something has been missing from Fortnite, you feel that the game has changed and it has not been as fun, you're right. But it's not for the reason that you might have thought. It's not the loot pool, it's not the story, it's not the collabs or the seasonal events. It's the one element that ties all these things together into one neat package, and is the one thing that made Fortnite as successful as it is. We all miss it. Even though Fracture was bad, I'd be willing to bet a lot of us would take something like that now, albeit a bit better executed. I think right now Epic is working on something big to unite the community once again, but what is it? I have an idea, but you'll have to subscribe to the channel to see what it is in a future video. Until then, Epic, you know exactly what you need to do. Wow us. Bring live events back to Fortnite.